Hello, my friends. My name is Mrs. Surette. I am the psychology teacher here at Georgia Cyber Academy, and I want to welcome you to what I'm sure will be a wonderful semester of studying psychology. Psychology is awesome. It links to everyday life. You're going to find so many things in here that you're going to be like, oh, I can use that, or wow, I didn't know that before. I can understand better. And I think you're going to be really pleased with the course and what you learn. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, this is my 14th year teaching. I've taught 13 years of high school. I know, if 13 is a bad luck number, and then I have a year of teaching pre-K, and I do enjoy it thoroughly. 4 or 14, I love working with students. A few things that are kind of important here. My family, you can see right here, my oldest in 9th grade and my twins in 5th grade. They always like me to point out that there's not a huge height disparity between them, but one of them was wearing high heels that day. I have 2 cats, Bandit and Bear. They are brothers. My family, one of our favorite things to do is to ride bikes. I play the bassoon. I have played it for over 20 years now. And in fact, I was playing it at a concert, and a local news area they snapped a picture of me. So thought I'd throw that in. And I do live near the mountains in Georgia, and one of my favorite things to do is go apple picking because I love fall. It's my favorite season, and I'm so excited that it's coming up. And just to know here, in addition to being the psychology teacher, I am the contact person for National History Day. So if you're interested in participating with that through GCA, I'm the person who helps register you and get you going, and, you know, works with you if you have any questions about your project, stuff like that. And then I am the club sponsor of the Feminine Expressions Health and Wellness Club. I cannot believe I switched that. I'm so sorry. I know I have some of my club members in here, but it's more properly Feminine Expressions Health and Wellness Club. And this is a course, or not a course, I'm sorry. This is a club. We meet about once a month, talk about different items of health or different items of interest, mental health, social health, you know, just kind of how we can take better care of ourselves and appreciate ourselves and each other more. All right, I'm not going to talk too much about logging into classes, but if you or someone you know has not set up their G Suite, or is not familiar with Clever, after you finish this video, you'll notice that there's a link to the presentation that I used. You can click on that to download and get any of these links, so you don't have to try to, like, you know, copy all of this down or something. All right, so the place we start is a place called Clever. And Clever is a single sign-in. So what that means is once you have put in your password or your login information for a particular application that we'd be using, you don't have to do it again. It's stored by Clever. So sometimes you do have to click the login button again, but you don't have to put in your information. So when you get to Clever, you're going to find that there's a couple options there, and one of the things is called District Page. And your district page has items that we use across the district, meaning elementary, middle, and high school. And the number one thing that we use in there is Canvas. Canvas is our online high school. Canvas is our main event. It is our bread and butter. It is one of the most important things that we will use. So it's really important that you're going into Canvas every day. But let me talk to you a little bit about this part. You're also going to see pages that other teachers have made, not just mine, that have apps in them that are important for that particular class. So for example, mine's actually called Psychology Goodies. And if we were to click on that, you would see some resources that we'll be using in class, like Illuminate DNA. Now that's being used by everybody. For those of you who have been here before and you remember USA Test Prep, USA Test Prep is gone. It is a thing of the past. Well, I mean, it's still there. We're not using it. But Illuminate DNA is now the way we are going to be administering pre-tests, interim assessments, and post-tests. And so when you go to your pre-test, you'll kind of get a taste of how we'll be doing that. One thing we'll use in here is Edpuzzle. This has videos that are for review or reinforcement. There's questions in the videos, and then I go in and manually, when I see that you have completed it, I will manually put in a grade for you. and then some others. If you're interested to learn more about any of these apps, if you're not familiar with them, you're welcome to, like I said, download the presentation and then click the link. And there's a little more information about each, along with like how to sign in or things like that. All right, so let's imagine that we click on Canvas and we get to a dashboard. So that's the first thing that you're going to see. And this is where you're going to find your classes. You're going to have your GCA courses as well as a homeroom. Homeroom is not like a regular course. It's not like you'll be coming here once a month or something like that, although who knows, it could all change. But for right now, it's really going to meet on an as-needed basis. It's mostly going to be meeting for map testing like you're doing this week. Woohoo! What map testing? I know, so exciting. But this is where your teacher may be asking some questions. She may post some, or he, I shouldn't say she, may post some announcements. But for the most part, this is where there's going to be communications with your teachers. So you might want to poke in there like once a week and just check on it. And then let's imagine that we can click on our buttons. This is what one of my psychology courses looks like. And mine says Psychology 5. You may see Psychology 6, Psychology 7, or Psychology 8. I have 4 sections of psychology. Each one has a different period. So this is Psychology period 5, but if you're in Psychology period 6, you'll see Psychology 6. It's important to know your period because when we go to like interim assessment testing, for example, we might put period 8, like we did this week Monday at 9:55, and then period 7, in the afternoon at 1 o'clock or 12:30 or whatever it was. So you need to make sure you know which period of psychology you are in, and that's the same for any class. But let's imagine that we go here and we click on our psychology class. And we're going to go to the home page is where we're going to land. And the first thing you want to do every day is to check announcements. Now, the 2 most recent announcements are going to show up for you, and keep in mind I have multiple classes, so it looks like I'm duplicating my announcements, but I'm really not. So you're going to see the 2 most recent, but maybe so much is going on, I had to put 3 announcements in. So if I were you, I would definitely check that just at least, once a day or so. Just make sure you haven't missed any announcements. And then you want to go to modules. You're going to live in your modules. Modules is like the place you're going to be all the time. This is where the bulk of our activities are. So once you've hit your announcements, head to modules. And once you get there, check out a few things. First is the about the teacher. Not so much because I expect you to know everything about me, but just because you may want my contact information. You can get that there. The next thing that you could check out is the class syllabus. And the class syllabus is required reading. And I know class syllabi, they're not the most exciting thing. In fact, they're probably like Apple agreements in that you just want to go past the fine print and skip it. But it's really important that you know the policies and procedures of my class. I mean, this is your education. And it's really important that you focus on knowing what you need to do and what's expected of you. Because the last thing you want to do is find out that in the fine print, you gave the right to, sell your picture or something like that. Not that I'm selling your picture. It's okay. But in the class syllabus, you don't want to find out, oh, shoot, she told me what I needed to do and I didn't pay attention, right? So check that out. Make sure you read it. Jigsaw classes and recordings. This is where we're going to be eventually housing recordings and class information. Like if you need to go to class, you click on a link. But I'll be honest, at the moment, I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do with this. To make a long story short, we're sort of having trouble getting things to work the way we expected it to. So right now we're putting your links to each class in the announcements or in the calendar. And I'm going to talk about the calendar in a second. So I'll let you know as we go how that's going to work. And then checking your grades. This is really important. So please make sure you are with me. You are focused. You are paying attention. That's right. You're right here. I can see you. I can feel you. Okay. Your grade in Infinite Campus is your official grade. Okay. So when you look at your grade in Canvas and you look at your grade in Infinite Campus, you may see 2 different grades. It just depends on how you scored on certain things. Remember, we weight our grades, meaning some grades, they weigh more than others. So it's possible you look at your grade in Canvas, then you go to Infinite Campus, and you're like, whoa, why is this 3 points different? And that's because in Infinite Campus, we weigh it based on what the state tells us that we need to do. So whatever grade you see in Canvas, that is not your official grade. No, no, no. Your official grade is an Infinite Campus. Make sure you take note of that. All right. Now we have this module, Class Calendar. Now you may be sitting there going, Self, is she not aware that there's another calendar on Canvas? And I am. Oops, sorry about that. Your class calendar is where your pacing guide is. This is the magic calendar for those of you who've been with us before. This gives you due dates. It gives you an outline to follow of what work you're expected to complete. So I wanted to give you something printable so you would know, like on Monday, I need to read this module, and this is what we'll be learning in class. Thursday, I happen to notice this is due. I wanted you to have something that was a little bit more concrete so you knew exactly what was expected of you every day. The calendar in Canvas doesn't do that. So that's why we do this. So now I want you to imagine we continue scrolling down this page and we get to Module 1, Orientation. Now each module is set up so you have to complete it sequentially. I know, some people like to skip around, but that doesn't work so well when you're trying to learn a subject like psychology. So the first thing you'll need to do as you go through, you'll check out the Let's Get It Started and Where Do I Find the Pretest, just, to help you out. But this is the first grade you have to complete is pretest completion. So when you finish the pretest, I will manually put in the pretest completion grade. And you can see it says score at least 100. You do have to score 100 to move on. And so if you don't take this, you don't get the rest of the course. This is the prerequisite to getting the rest of the course. So you need to make sure you do it, and you need to make sure you attend your session and you take care of this so that you can then sign up for Edpuzzle. And there's some information in there on what you need to do. And then you can get to the next module, Module 2, which you can see we start August 12th. So that's the following week. So you need to make sure that you are keeping up with that and keeping up with your work, which goes back to that class calendar of pacing. All right, so like I said, you're thinking to yourself, but there's a calendar on there. This is where you're going to find links to your classes. So for example, I know there's a whole bunch on here, but if you were Psychology Period 8, you would see this pretest. You would click on it, it'll give you a description, and you'll click on the link to go to my class to get all the information to take your pretest so that you can rock and roll your way through course. This calendar does have due dates, which is awesome, but no pacing. And that's why you have 2 calendars. All right, there is a great resource where we are putting everything we can to help you guys out, to help out teachers. What do you do about this platform or that platform or this app or that app? And that's your instructional technology resource site. And you saw a little, you can see it pops up there. Again, it's in that presentation that I said you could download. I would bookmark this baby because we're probably all going to be spending some time there on a regular basis as we figure this out. And that, my friends, is the end of the presentation. So hopefully I gave you some information and you're feeling a little less about the school year. Although if you're anything like me, it's probably going to be 6 weeks before that goes away. But listen, just know that we are here for each other. I am here for you. It is important to me that if you need something, I be there. So I try to be in contact with my students and to listen to them and do whatever I can to help. So if you're struggling, let me know. Let me know what I can do to help because that's really important to me. So thank you, my friends, for watching this video. I appreciate it and I look forward to a great year. Oop, I can't close. Hold on. Here we go.